Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant content, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. In today's video, I wanted to share with you an incredible hair loss reversal transformation that this guy has seen from using traditional treatment in just a matter of 48 days from finasteride, microneedling, and minoxidil. Here's the post from Trestless. He goes by username Jay Shepherd, and he kind of gives the Island Boys vibe. But anyway, on the photo on the left, we can see the before photo with obvious signs of temporal recession. You know, he still looks relatively young, probably in his early to mid 20s, and he still has a good head of hair. Now, we don't know when he actually started experiencing hair loss, and I also note that his curly hair characteristics are going to be beneficial for him since it's going to add on the illusion of more density. I would probably classify him around a normal 2. There's no other noticeable signs of hair loss other than the frontal hairline and the temporal recession. And then the photo on the right is going to be his crazy transformation in just 48 days of being on oral finasteride 1 milligram, topical minoxidil 5% twice a day, and thermal at 1.5 millimeter. And you know, this guy is obviously a hyper responder to treatment. This is typically not the norm that we see, but it does show us that it can happen, and it has happened to the point where, you know, these hyper responders can solely rely on treatment and not have to go through a hair transplant. You can see that in a matter of just 48 days, he's been able to, you know, regrow a good chunk of his hair on the temple area, and he now looks closer to a Nord 0. And being a responder to treatment this early on, he's likely to be able to regrow, you know, most, if not all of the hairs that were miniaturized over the years. And here's another set of photos showing the other side of the temple. There's, you know, the same type of recession, and once again, just incredible regrowth on the temple. His right side, however, doesn't look as dense in terms of regrowth compared to the left temple, but you can definitely see that it is filling in pretty nicely compared to his before photos. So if you actually read through the post in detail, the crazy thing about this guy's case is that he's already been on finasteride for the past 2 to 3 years. It's likely that he's been able to maintain from further progression of hair loss. But what he also mentions is that he decided to throw in topical minoxidil and thermal for the past 48 days. And only then is when he started seeing some pretty crazy regrowth. He also recommends one thing apart from minoxidil and finasteride, and that is to dermal. And he mentions in his post that he actually dermals every single day, 1 to 2 minutes on each spot. And he does it right after applying minoxidil. And you know, this is the power of synergistic treatment. He's now targeting hair loss through different angles using treatments that work in different mechanisms of action instead of just relying on 5-ARs. And the more that you combine, the better your chances of slowing hair loss and even for regrowth. Now, based on multiple studies, we know that the optimal microneedling frequency is going to be once a week, and to apply minoxidil 24 hours after microneedling to avoid any side effects due to systemic absorption. But this guy clearly hasn't been doing that, and he seems to be, you know, still getting some really good results with no mention of adverse side effects. I personally wouldn't microneedle every single day, especially at 1.5 millimeter, because, you know, you're not allowing the scalp to heal. But I do recommend adding in microneedling because we know that it promotes growth factors. It also activates the Wnt proteins, and you know, it stimulates dermopapilla associated stem cells that can help promote new hair growth. But going back to applying minoxidil right after microneedling, this has been a pretty controversial topic to some degree. While most studies recommend that you wait 24 hours, there's still a lot of people, you know, anecdotally, that have had no issues applying minoxidil right after or even a couple hours after and did not experience any adverse side effects. Applying it right after may potentially be more beneficial from an absorption and penetration standpoint, you know, aside from how it can stimulate growth factors, because you're creating all these perforations and helping minoxidil penetrate deeper into the skin barrier. But my take is that if you are not experiencing any side effects from using minoxidil right after microneedling, I really don't see a reason why you should really have to wait 24 hours. And, you know, it'd be really nice to see an actual study on this to see how efficacious applying minoxidil right after microneedling can be. But waiting 24 hours is solely to avoid any systemic absorption related side effects. So, you know, if you're good to go, my opinion is that there is really no need to wait. I personally need to wait at least a few hours because if I were to apply minoxidil right after, it just basically stings a lot. So the Tressa's poster also shared a progress video, and this is nice because we're not only solely referring to his photos, but we can actually see a recorded video from different angles of his hair growth progress. And once again, both sides of the temples look incredible and a huge difference in density from his before photos. And we can also see the outline of his hairline, putting him nearly back to a normal 0 with no noticeable, signs of hair loss. Once again, the right temple looks to be a bit weaker compared to his left, but I suspect that the right temple will also continue to respond well to treatment over the next few months. He also shows us that he's using foam minoxidil 5% twice a day as opposed to the liquid version, a generic brand of 1 milligram finasteride, and then a derm roller with 1.5 length needles. So someone on his post also asked him about any potential sexual side effects from taking finasteride, and he stated that he's not exactly sure and that he plans on getting blood work done, but he doesn't appear to have any changes in his sex life. He also mentions that he is a bodybuilder and that he naturally has a really low libido and testosterone levels because of his diet and his lifestyle. So, overall, this guy has just seen some really tremendous improvement to his hairline with his current treatment protocol. And I really suspect that he will continue to gain more density over the next few months, only because he's relatively early on into his treatment and is such a great responder. Now, the only thing I would recommend adding to his treatment plan is to try incorporating a retinoid like tretinoin, especially if he's not seeing any further improvement. And we know that from past studies that tretinoin tends to enhance minoxidil response in androgenetic alopecia patients by upregulating the follicular sulfotransferase enzymes. So he can throw that on top of his current treatment for additional response. He can also incorporate an anti-androgen like RU5841 or Pyrilutamide to further fortify his hair loss treatment plan. But all in all, extremely excited for this guy. He's had a huge transformation and, hopefully he continues to benefit from it. It's always pleasant to see how responsive someone is to treatment, and hopefully this can give some people hope to those who are looking into jumping into finasteride, minoxidil, and microneedling. But that's all I have for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all of your support. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you can drop me a comment below. If you've also experienced similar regrowth as a hyper-responder from whatever type of treatment that you've been on, make sure to shoot me an email and I will see what I can do in terms of sharing your results through a YouTube video. But thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.